So guys, it's your boy Kevin from Caribbean Crypto Tips, back for another video. Now I know I've not been uploading recently. That's because I was busy with work, and as well I'm working on my own NFT project, so I'll talk a bit about that near the end of this video. But I do have a special video for you guys today. This video is going to be about the topic of DeFi. Now if you've been in the crypto space for 3 years or more, chances are you know what the acronym DeFi stands for. But just in case you don't know, DeFi stands for Decentralized Finance. Now imagine a bank where you go to deposit your money. At a bank you can go and get loans, you can exchange currencies, etc. Those are all the financial services that are offered at a bank. Now imagine if we can do the same thing in the crypto space, where we strip away most of the intermediaries and we can perform the same actions that we can in traditional finance, such as swapping tokens, borrowing stable coins, borrowing whatever coin you choose, as well as earning interest by lending our money to the platform. That is what DeFi is in a nutshell. It is the stripping away of the intermediaries from regular finance using cryptocurrencies. Now, most of you would have heard of DeFi on Ethereum. That is the main DeFi platform, and if you are in Solana, there are a few DeFi options there as well. But in today's video, I'm going to talk to you about a special platform on the Algorand blockchain called Algofi. That is the premier DeFi service that I'm using right now. I call it the Swiss Army knife of DeFi on Algorand. So let's head over to the computer. Let me show you what Algofi is all about. Okay guys, so I'm here now on the browser. I'm going to search in Google for algofi.org. And this is what the website itself should look like. The DeFi hub of Algorand, decentralized exchange, lending market, and stablecoin. Earn interest, borrow, trade, and more. Just as I said, this is an all-in-one DeFi platform. You can leverage your Algorand. You can borrow their stablecoin called STBL stable. You can even earn on your USDC holdings. Now, so far, the total amount supplied to the platform is just about 118 million US dollars, and the amount borrowed is about 61.5 million, a little bit higher than what I saw yesterday and last week. But when this platform first started, these numbers were as low as like 40 million and like 10 million. But now, as you can see, just after a few weeks of being live, this platform has certainly boomed in the Algorand space. In terms of the DEX total value locked, it is 14.6 million. And in terms of 24-hour trading volume, this platform covers about $1.52 million of trades daily. Now, in terms of security, which is always a good thing to note down, this platform has been audited by 3 different entities, so that should mean it is relatively safe. But of course, we're dealing with crypto, and hence, these things are not set in stone. I would recommend you do your own research and proceed with caution. Let's go back up to the top. To get started, you can either go and click on here, or you can click on the app button. This should open up the platform, and this is what it should look like for the very first time. Now, of course, because it's on Algorand, you have to connect an Algorand wallet. Once you click on connect, you have the 2 options here. You have my Algo wallet, which is a very good browser-based wallet, and you have the Para wallet, which is the old, or I should say the updated Algorand mobile wallet. So this is now called the Para wallet. Of course, for this video, I'm going to choose my Algo. Now, this would be a good opportunity to show you guys how to set up a brand new Algorand wallet. I'm going to go open a new tab, and I'm going to search for my Algo wallet. And this result, wallet.myalgo.com, is the one you want to choose. Of course, you have to read the disclaimer, accept, and continue. This is a fresh browser, so therefore this is going to be a fresh install. You're going to choose a password that suits you, preferably one that is strong and memorable. Once you click on continue, you'll be greeted with the main wallet interface, and I want to add a wallet. Or you can go here and click new account. If you have an old Algorand account before, you can import it, or you can even use the ledger. But to be quite honest, the Algofi platform does not support hardware wallets just yet. So chances are you will have to add a new account or import. In this case, I'm going to create a new account. Remember, these are your mnemonic phrases or private keys, so make sure that you're not doing it what I'm doing and showing the world these keys, because this controls your wallet. Now, of course, this video is just for demonstration purposes. I'm not actually going to use this wallet or load it with any funds. I just want to show you guys what a fresh wallet looks like. So once I X this out, I'll be greeted with 5 cards. Once I hover my mouse over these cards, it's going to reveal part of my mnemonic phrase. For Algorand, there are about 25 words that you're supposed to note down in order. So once I've seen all my words and written them down, you can always click copy all to save them digitally, but I would not recommend doing that. I recommend always writing them down with pen and paper. Now on this screen, just to make sure that I have my words saved, the platform is going to test me. It's going to ask me for word number 16, word number 12, word number 22, and word number 9. So once you get past this stage, you're going to have to create an account name. In this case, I'm going to name it Kevin's Wallet and create account, enter my password, and my wallet should be created. Now, the next thing would be just to fund this wallet with some Algorand. Of course, you have to buy it from an exchange. I recommend KuCoin, as KuCoin is very Algorand friendly. You can even get USDC on the Algorand blockchain through KuCoin. Now, to actually receive, this is your receive address and your QR code. You can always copy this or scan it and send Algorand to this wallet. So I'm going to reload a wallet that I already own, and I'm going to head back over to Algofi and show you guys what to do now. So now that I loaded one of my real wallets, I'm going to head back over to Algofi and click on Connect Wallet and my Algo. Now I'm going to enter my password and click Connect. Select my wallet. If you have multiple wallets, you could probably select all of them or the ones that you actually want to use with Algofi. And now once you've done that, you click on Connect, and now you are connected to the platform. Right now we are on the swap tab. This is the first aspect of DeFi where you can actually swap between 2 different tokens. Right now I have Algorand and I want to swap, let's say 50 Algo for USDC. Once the platform finishes calculating the fees and slippage, you just have to click on swap. Sign the transaction. And just like that, the first aspect of DeFi has been demonstrated, swapping from one token to a next. As you can see here, I now have $34 worth of USDC. Now, the next aspect of DeFi to demonstrate is how to lend funds to the platform and earn an interest. So once I head to the Lend tab, the first thing I have to do is opt in to all of these assets that are here on the screen. Once I click on opt in, it's going to pop up with my Algo wallet once again, and I sign the transaction by entering my password. Alright, opt in again. That's the only annoying part, guys, having to, see this screen so often. So the first opt-in was for the assets, the second opt-in was for the Algofi platform itself. So now that is completed, I can go here, I can click on Algo because I have Algo in my wallet, and I can actually supply Algo to the platform. Let's say I can supply, right now I have about 232. I'm going to supply just about 100 Algo to be exact, which comes out to be about $68. So I'm going to supply. And basically what I did was just lock my funds in this, what you can say, an online smart contract, which is equivalent to locking your funds in a bank. So if I click on this, it should show me the APR that I would gain by holding my funds with this particular smart contract. All right, so it's just about 1.61% APR. So if I leave my funds here over time and I come back, the funds should increase and I should be able to claim my rewards. Now, that is one aspect, lending to the platform to earn interest. But now that I have collateral in the platform, I should be able to borrow against my collateral. So to borrow, I scroll down and choose whatever asset I want to borrow. In this case, I can borrow Algo, I can borrow Stable, I can borrow USDC, Gold BTC, which is their wrapped version of Bitcoin, as well as their wrapped version of Ethereum. So in this case, I'm going to borrow their stable coin, STBL, and the maximum I can borrow is about $46. That is because right now my collateral is $68 and I can't borrow more than what I have put in. I can only borrow less. So I'm going to borrow this amount. In fact, I'm just going to borrow about 40 of their stable. Click on borrow, sign this transaction. And just like that, I have successfully borrowed money from this quote-unquote online bank. Now please pay attention to this bar up here. This bar tells you your borrow utilization. Right now I'm at 78.3%. You are technically allowed to borrow up to about 90% of your collateral. So in this case, 90% of that $68 worth of algo that I put in earlier. Now if I hit the red bar, that is where I am at 100% of my borrow limit and I run the risk of being liquidated. In other words, the platform will automatically sell off my funds that I have supplied to cover what I would have borrowed. So you must make sure this bar should be always somewhere here around the middle. You don't want to be in a situation where you are liquidated. Now, one other thing to pay attention to would be your borrow APR. As you can see here, it is negative 1.55%. That means the longer I borrow or the more I borrow, I have to pay back more over time. But the way the platform is set up right now, because I'm an early user, I'm actually getting more in interest by supplying the platform than I am losing in terms of borrowing. And by being an early user of this platform, there's actually a rewards program going on where I'm actually earning extra APR. Now that's only for a time, but I recommend that you give it a try, practice lending and borrowing and using the platform and seeing if you enjoy the experience. Now before we move off this page, I have one very crucial piece of advice. When you are borrowing on this platform and you decide to borrow an asset that is volatile, let's say I borrow Algorand and Algorand's price goes up all the way to $2 tomorrow, then chances are I run the risk of this number drastically increasing and my funds being liquidated. So always bear that in mind when you're borrowing from these platforms and you are borrowing a volatile asset. It is best to borrow in such a way that even if the asset was to rise in price tomorrow, that you still have a little leeway when it comes to your liquidation threshold. That's why I prefer to borrow stable coins on these platforms. But if you are a trader and you want to long and short a particular asset, then you have to borrow accordingly. So let's say you're a trader and you are long the asset Algorand. You believe that over time, from reading your charts, the price is going to go up. So what you would want to do, you would want to borrow a stable coin like STBL and swap it for Algorand. That way, when Algorand price rises, you can then convert your Algorand back to the stable and pay off your debt and keep the excess value that you would have earned from that trade. Now, if you're a shorting asset, you would do what I just said in reverse. You would buy Algorand, and because you know it's going to go down, you're going to swap that Algorand for stable, wait till the price goes down, and then pay off your debt now that it is at a much lower value. And that way you can keep the excess stable as your, reward for that smart trade. So you can long and short with leverage. Now what I'm going to show you next is probably the most interesting and exciting feature of any decentralized exchange, and that is how to add liquidity to a liquidity pool. Now, if you've never used these kinds of exchanges before, how they work is that users like me and you, we have to add liquidity to a particular pair of tokens. When we add liquidity to the platform, that allows others to come and trade and swap these tokens freely. Now, for a reward for adding liquidity to making the trades possible, we are given a share of, the trading fees as well as any other rewards that the platform has to offer. Now, to know what kinds of liquidity pools they have, I will go to farm and I will see what pairings they have. Right now they have the stable to USDC, they have stable to Tether and Tether to USDC. I don't think you can go wrong with earning 10% APY on a stable coin pair. That is probably one of the best things I've ever heard. So I'm going to try to add liquidity to this particular pool. That means I need equal amounts of stable and USDC. So I'm going to head over to the pool tab. I am going to switch from Algo to USDC. I'm going to select stable as well. Alright, so now I have my two pairs selected. I'm going to add liquidity for all of my USDC that I have. And it should calculate for me how much equivalent that would be in stable. Sometimes it, takes a little while to do its calculations. But let's say I want to add, all of my USDC and all of my stable. I click on supply, send pool transaction. Once I sign this transaction, it's going to take a couple of seconds, but my liquidity pool tokens will be created. Alright, so now that I have my liquidity pool tokens, exactly 74 of them, I can now head over back to farm. I can go to the USDC and stablecoin pair, and I can opt in to stake my liquidity pool tokens to the platform. Now bear in mind the APR changes, daily. So, 1 minute it may be 10, next minute it may be 9, next minute it may be 11. But in essence, I'm still going to be earning way more than I would be if I were to keep my, funds locked up in a traditional bank account. Now, once that last opt-in transaction is finished, I should now see this screen where I can go to click to stake my particular liquidity pool tokens. I click on max to stake all of them. Click on stake. Of course, you have to sign a transaction once again. In this case, please remember that your browser may block your, pop-ups. So we can allow pop-ups just for this particular site. Try again, reload the page. Right, so now it says that I'm farming this particular pair of tokens. That means each day I'm going to be rewarded with this amount of algo and this amount of stable, which isn't much, but given that I only put in like $68, that's to be expected. Of course, if you put in more, you get greater rewards than this. Now, just for context, I switched over to one of my other Algorand accounts just to show you guys how much you can earn daily for, being a liquidity pool provider. In this particular case, I have staked my stable to US Tether. And as you can see here, every day I'm going to earn about 3.9 algo and 3.9 stable. So far, I've let it run for 2 days so I can actually claim this particular reward. Now, of course, the reason I'm able to earn so much on this is because, of course, I would have put in way more money than just $68. But I'm not advocating for you guys to go and use the platform. I'm just showing you that, I'm earning a 19% APR for a stable coin pair, which is, in my opinion, a very good deal. Now, using this same account, I'm going to head over to the Lend tab and show you that, I would have earned about 3.68 algo for letting it run for a couple of days, and that's because I would have provided about 6.9 thousand USDC to the platform, and I would have participated in borrowing Algo, USDC, and stable. So for doing all of these transactions, all of the lending and borrowing, I can claim these rewards as well. Now the platform does have a few other extra features, such as the Zap feature. Now this is where you want to quickly join a particular liquidity pool. You can convert your algo to a particular liquidity pool and start farming right away. This is an experimental feature. I haven't tried it myself, but this is a quick way of creating your liquidity pool tokens without having to go and manually add them yourself. You can come here, swap into your desired LP token, and boom, you can start farming right away. Now the next thing that I will show you would be the accounts tab. This gives you a running total of your different accounts in your wallet. As you can see, this is how much algo I have left, how much stable, the pools I've joined, how much I've borrowed, how much I'm staking, etc, etc. This gives you a nice summary of all your transactions, etc. And if you want, you can opt out of using the entire platform and it erases all of your data. Of course, proceed with caution using this particular option there. The analytics tab. This is where you can go to get analytics for the entire platform itself. You can see whether the prices are rising, they're falling. Of course, you can see the market is in red right now. That means most of these tokens are, going down. So, this is a good analytics tool. You can go to the lend info and see who is supplying to the platform, how much they have supplied so far. And then you have your DEX info, how much, trading volume is taking place on this platform. So let's go back. And the very last thing I want to show you is how the vault operates. The vault is where you would go if you want to participate in the Algorand Governance program. Now I'm going to do a separate video on the governance program itself, but in a nutshell, Algorand being a proof of stake blockchain, the more Algorand you have, the more say you should have in how the protocol itself should operate. So the idea of governance is like that. The Algorand Foundation came up with the idea of this governance proposal where persons that have a particular amount of algo, I think you only need one algo to participate, to be honest. You can come and go to the governance portal and say, I want to stake this particular amount of algo to get X amount of votes on the next proposal that comes around. Now, the old way of doing it on the original governance platform, you had to commit a certain amount of algo that you will not move from your wallet. In other words, if you had 5 algo and you committed 4 of the algo, that means if you moved more than 1 algo, then you would no longer participate in governance. You had to commit not to moving that 4 algo until the governance period is over, which could last a couple of months. And you have to vote on whatever proposals come out in that time frame. Now, since then, platforms like Algofi found a nice workaround where you can still participate in governance, but they're going to give you a token that you can still use on the platform itself. So you're not fully locking up your tokens. You still have this particular token that you can use as collateral to still use the platform. So in addition to the fact that you have a say on what happens on the Algorand blockchain, the other main reason that people want to participate in governance is so they can earn rewards on their staked Algorand. At this present time, it is 12.8%, but this number changes based on how many people have committed to being a governor. In the very beginning, about a week ago, it was all the way up in 120%. But since then, we have about 50 million persons who have staked their algo, or I should say 50 million algo has been staked. So therefore, the number came down to a reasonable 12.8%. And right now we have about 3,000 governors that are going to vote on the various proposal changes. So I'm going to show you guys how you can participate in governance using the Algofi platform. First thing you want to do is decide on how much Algorand you want to put into the vault. Right now I have 131 Algo. I'm going to put about, let's say about 70%, or just make it a straight 100 Algo in the vault. So I'm going to click on supply. Alright, so now I've supplied the algo. What happens now is that I'm issued now with something called VAlgo tokens, which stands for my algo that has been locked up in the vault, and it's added to my collateral page. If I go back to the vault now, it is saying that right now my commitment to governance is incomplete. So to complete my commitment for the governance period number 3, what I will have to do is follow these instructions here. I must decide on how much of my vaulted algo that I want to use to commit to governance. In this case, I'm going to use pretty much all of my algo. I may just leave about 5. Yeah, so I'm going to commit 95 of my 100 algo to governance. Click on commit. Alright, so it says I've successfully committed 95 algo. So now the platform shows me how much I should get in rewards at the end of the governance period. As you can see here, it's only 3 algo, which is just about $2.11 at this current price, which isn't much. But remember, I only put in $69. So, if you put in a lot more than that, you would expect your reward to be proportionately larger. Remember, the APR is 12.8%. So you deposit your algo, you vault it, you commit how much you want in the vault to the governance, and when the time comes around, you will do your voting. So in other words, in this section here, in the vote, which is grayed out right now, if there's any proposals, I could read the proposal and vote on it. And at the end of the governance period, after 2 or 3 months, then, I can come and claim my rewards. That is how you can, participate in governance using the Algofi platform. So this basically brings me to the end of my complete Algofi tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a bit longer than my usual videos, but I've been away for so long I decided to make a long one for you guys. Now if you enjoyed the video, give it a like, share it with your friends, and you can always leave a comment below. Now just to let everyone know, I am working on an NFT project called Algo Arcade. Now these NFTs can be found on AB2 Gallery, and it's a collection of 1,000 arcade NFTs. Now why this project is because I want to see games come to Algorand, and I want to build a gaming platform that solely runs on the Algorand blockchain for the community. Now if you are interested in something like that, check out my NFTs. Each NFT costs about 10 algo, and the proceeds will go toward funding the development of the platform. So if you are interested in something like this, go and check it out on AB2 Gallery and later on Algo Gems. This is Kevin from Caribbean Crypto Tips. I do hope you enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching.